All right, so I've got 4 o'clock here, and that means we need to open up this meeting. And this is the Recreation Committee meeting for March 2021. And we've got just a regular moderate agenda here today. And I'm looking at our Zoom screen, and I'm seeing almost everybody here. There's a couple of folks that haven't joined yet. Maybe they will. But we certainly have enough for a quorum, so we are going to proceed. And I tell you, this March weather is pretty good compared to what we had last month, right? And I'm looking forward to hearing about all the folks that we may have seen out at the recreational amenities recently. I know it looks like folks were crawling out of the woodwork here to get some of the nice weather lately. So we'll get started. And the first thing up on our agenda, of course, is the Amenity Reports. And the first one up, as usual, is Branchwood by Debbie Sorensen.
I mean, you have to log out of the Zoom.
Hi, everybody. Branchwood this last weekend has been crazy. I've been in touch with Jessica. Sunday morning, I was there at 7:30 walking the trails, and there were 8 disc golfers starting already. So it really is, and this weekend was crazy. A lot of beer cans, but they were picked up, they were put in the trash. And the facility is great. However, I'd love to know, and Jessica's, maybe you give a report later on, if there's any chance of expansion, not so much hours, but maybe more people to get into the gym. I know I called today to see about later today, and it was filled until 5 o'clock. And I know that that's pretty standard. But I just would love to know, maybe even from Tom, what the plans are for going into expansion with COVID. But anyway, the facilities are great. A lot of chatter on Facebook for the pickleball courts. So I know people are really anxious for that. And the playground's been used. Jessica said she's been picking up trash there, but the playground's been great, and it's lots of use this last weekend. So, and that's it. Welcome meet and greet was very successful, and we had about 18 states represented, about 25, 28 people on the computer. Kim had kind of a glitch with the actual connection, but everything was fine. And the only thing is we didn't get it on Facebook. So hopefully our next one we will get on Facebook. And that's it.
Okay, great. So Debbie, what I did is I made the meet and greet as a amenity line item on our agenda now. So when you move along to different things in June, you'll still have that meet and greet line item as an amenity to report on.
Okay, good. Thanks.
You're welcome. And thank you for the reports. So we'll move along to Denise Klinger now for her report on Tanyard Park.
Sure. Hi there.
Lake Loch Lomond.
Yes. Okay. So while maybe a lot of the other amenities have been really busy, Tyree has not yet blossomed. I was there this past Thursday at 11, and it was still pretty quiet. The bathrooms were still locked, which was good. While I was there, there's a company called BBB that comes in and empties the porta potty. They actually showed up while I was there, so I got to see our POA dollars at work. Took her about 10 minutes there and gone. So the porta potty was taken care of and very clean. Excuse me. The pavilion was also very clean. There are people that are using the facilities because there is trash in the cans. It's just, I don't see a lot of folks there. There was a gentleman who was walking his dogs around the perimeter, and we had a little chat. He absolutely loves the park, didn't have any recommendations for improvements. He actually kind of goes there because it is quiet, because he says his dogs are not very friendly, and that's one place where he can walk them and there aren't a lot of people. So he really liked the fact that it wasn't a heavily used park, but no trash, really. It was pretty cleaned up and in good shape. So that's it.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Denise. Didn't see Jackie join onto the call yet, so we'll skip over the RV storage in Lake Ann Park for now. And we'll go on to Scott. Scott for his report on Rorden Hall Complex and tennis area.
Good afternoon, Chris. Thanks. So everything at Reardon Hall still looks the same. It's still in good shape. They're still running under their coronavirus guidelines, so limited on the workout space, limited to just the exercise classes. So not much change there. Kathy was very complimentary on the Bella Vista Fire Department. So they just recently had the COVID-19 vaccination group that was there. She said that they vaccinated about 1,279 people at that event. So very well run. She was very complimentary of everybody there. She said everybody had smiling faces. It was a beautiful day when they did it, so they were able to sit people outside for their 15-minute waiting period. So she's very complimentary of that. Went very well. The Kingsdale Pool is looking good. The deck's on there, really surprising given how bad the weather had been for a couple of weeks there in February. So they're making really good progress on that. Pool looks like it should be in shape to open in time for Memorial Day. I'm sure the people that manage that will probably have better updates on that, but just from my view of it, looks real good. Playgrounds, we're getting a lot of use. Tennis courts, we're getting a lot of use. A lot of people out with the nice weather. So everything's looking good. I continue to monitor, how we can do the progress on the playground. I know last report we were still waiting on parts, so hopefully they'll be coming in. I'm sure the weather probably impacted that a little bit. So.
And Scott, we actually got all of them changed out.
Good.
Yeah, we got all the
I
parts
didn't.
in and got them all changed out by Friday.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't go over there and look at everybody because there were a lot of kids out there playing. So
Yeah, there was.
I didn't want to look like a stalker. So,
Yep. No, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And then the last thing is the mini golf course. I can see that they're starting to work on that, but I imagine with the weather, they probably weren't able to do a lot of things on that. So looking forward to the weather getting better and hopefully get the new surfaces out there. That'll really be nice for the mini golf course. And that's
Okay,
it.
then.
Back to you.
Very good, Scott. Appreciate your nice report as always. And we're going to move along to Scotty Smith now. So this is unfortunately for us going to be her last reports for the committee because she's moving. But we certainly did enjoy having her on the team and the nice comprehensive information that you brought to us over the months. And we wish you well where you're going next. And tell us what you have for your last reports, though.
Okay. Let me pull them up here. So let's see. I've got three things up right now. Am I Metfield first or am I Loch Lomond first?
You choose, whatever you're ready with.
I got Metfield up first.
Okay.
So I live right by Metfield. It has been, as soon as the sun came out, Metfield's been really busy. And I drive by there all the time and I'll stop in a couple times throughout the month just because it's so close. Everything overall looks great. Restrooms are clean. Trash cans have been empty and picked up. It's probably different if you were there on a Saturday morning, but usually I go during the week and it's pretty nice. Everything's clean and good condition. Playground equipment's good. My husband just informed me that what I have been thinking were tennis courts are actually pickleball courts. So I have to ask, are they all pickleball courts over there? Are there tennis as well? What?
Yeah, they're the small ones.
So I didn't notice there's a difference. I stopped by there this morning too, just because I wanted to give the most accurate, up-to-date information. And I was surprised about 9:30 this morning. I think there were about 15 people out there and more people pulling up and kind of getting out of their cars with rackets. So people are just, they're loving the weather. Construction landscaping continues on what used to be the mini golf course. It does look like the bike path is complete. I had asked about the wooden sign before. I do see it's now currently propped up. Eventually it's going to need to go back in the ground, but for now, I guess they're just waiting, but it is propped up over there. That's really the only area for review I had for Metfield. Just again, that sign when it can go back in the ground.
Yeah, and Scotty, I actually got to the bottom of that sign. I was trying to figure out who and who. That sign, so we're getting a new sign.
Oh. Okay.
So the guys told me, the trail guys said, they're gonna put in the new sign. They
Oh,
just
cool.
haven't got it yet. And they said, we propped that one up just so it still says Metfield, though I'm sure not a lot of people are looking at that sign, but a new
Yeah.
sign is coming,
Okay.
updated sign.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, I did find it. It's just now it's like propped up and yeah.
Yeah.
See where it is.
Also,
Let's see Metfield.
Can you hear me, Scotty?
Oh, what was that?
Can you hear me? This is Joan.
Yes, I can hear you.
Just to give everybody a little more clarity on the pickleball. Yes, all the pickleball courts at Metfield are just pickleball courts. Way back about 5 years ago, we had tennis courts in a separate location at Metfield. They were in very major disrepair. We took them out. But that 9 o'clock group that you saw is actually an 8 to 10 a.m. group. They play Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and many of them play Tuesdays and Thursdays. And they are the active contingency of pickleball players that have been playing for years on those courts and when they were even not as nice as that. And so they're part of the contingency that helps support bringing the new courts to Branchwood. So just a little history for anybody that needs to know.
Cool. Well, again, I just learned something because I was telling my husband how many people were at the tennis courts, and he was like, "Those aren't tennis courts." I didn't know.
See, you should stay with us.
I'm learning new things. Metfield, the couple of times that I've talked to people around at Metfield, let's see what I have on here. Oh, obviously, it's pretty busy when it's sunny. On the Saturday afternoon when I was there, there were about 28 people between the playground, the picnic tables, and the basketball and pickleball courts. A lot of times I'll walk up to a group of people. So I say it's 3 members, but they're all kind of together. And they just asked about mini golf and what was going to go there instead. And I wasn't sure if it was just going to be landscaping. I did mention the new pickleball court, the new mini golf going up near Rayburn. But I wasn't sure. Is it just going to be landscaped area?
It's going to be just a landscape area.
Okay.
And I would really push how much better the new one at Rayburn is going to be. It's going to be centrally located. It's going to be much better than what we used to have.
Typically when people ask about the mini golf, I just tell them that area, because it wasn't supervised, was having some problems with vandalization, and it was in more disrepair than the new one that'll be going in Rayburn. And these people didn't seem upset about it. They just were like, "Oh, do you know what else is going to go here?" And I said, I think it's just landscaping, but I'm not really sure. So I said that I'd bring it up at the meeting.
Okay.
And then obviously they said, "Oh, we like it here. We just like the playground area. It's nice for the kids to come play." I didn't have any additional observations. Again, I think Metfield looks like it's in great shape, other than the fact that there is, I think this morning there were like 6 trucks over there doing the landscaping work over by where the mini golf used to be. They might be doing something else as well, but there's a lot of trucks over there this morning. And then Loch Lomond, I was over there on a Sunday morning. Landscaping overall, everything looks good. Again, the grounds are really clean. The bathrooms are clean. The small dog park is still pending that landscaping and seating, so nobody's using it yet. Baseball field was in good shape. I actually saw somebody using the baseball field for the first time. Just one guy there throwing the ball to himself. And I've mentioned this before, there's that rebar square you guys told me they used to like mark off. They just might want to find a better spot for it, in my opinion, but it's over there by the baseball field, just sitting on the ground. But there was nothing else, no other areas for review. It's looking really good over there. I was really impressed. On a Sunday morning, I counted 24 people over a period of about an hour. Almost everybody was walking dogs. You've got residents with the small dogs and big dogs. Dogs all seem to be getting along. I think at one point there were probably 10 people inside the dog park area. I talked to 3 residents, 2 of whom had just moved here in the last couple months, and they all said that they loved it here. One resident who was in this group of people said that he asked if the dog park could use the fencing space for advertisement. And he gave the examples of a local veterinarian or a pet supply company to help the POA fund upkeep of the dog park or other projects. I did mention that I'd actually brought up something similar before, but he said they would really like for me to present it again at the meeting. And then the other 2 residents that were there kind of talking with us as well. So that's a great idea. Go ahead and present it. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. They all were really liking the the dog park and wondering if there wasn't more that they could utilize that space for. So again, overall, Loch Lomond was great. I don't think I've ever seen as many people there as I saw on Sunday morning. So everybody's getting out in the sunshine, and overall, again, everything looked really good. And that's all I've got.
Okay, we'll make sure all those notes roll up to the leadership, especially about that advertising idea. And once again, we thank you for all your contributions you've made to the group, and best of luck to you going forward.
Thank you.
Chris, I'd just like to say I hadn't been to Loch Lomond in about a couple of years. I used to walk my dog and go to the dog park, and I was blown away at how beautiful the landscaping has, it's actually become a park, with the benches and so forth. Oh my gosh. I mean, I tell everybody about it now because it is such a difference. So thanks to all you guys that have worked to add that and make it what it is. That's all.
It's nice that they've cleared that space too, down by the water, so you can actually go down, and my kids will go down there and skip rocks by the water. And before, when the trees were there, you couldn't really see what was back there. You could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Good deal. Sounds like it might be a story for Judy to pick up someday to make a marketing splash about it.
Trees, real quick. That was an unfortunate result of the flooding. It's really bad to have those trees gone because it takes away from stream bank stabilization. So that was not on purpose.
Okay. All right, I see Jackie joined us here. So Jackie, are you ready to tell us about the two amenities that you look after, RV storage and Lake Ann Park?
Yes, my apologies for being late. On Lake Ann, after the snow and everything thawed, it was obvious that a couple trucks probably pulling kids and sleds were doing donuts in the Lake Ann Park area, the grassy area by the pavilion. But when I've gone by the last couple of times, it's thawed out and the grass is coming up, and I don't really think it's noticeable. So that was a good thing, that whatever fun they had is now not apparent anymore. And just to comment that one day last week, I know it's not part of the Lake Ann Park, but the trailhead right there were probably 15 to 16 cars and close to 20 bikers that were showing up about 6 o'clock at night for a bike ride. And I just think that's really cool. They have their lights on and all that kind of stuff, getting ready to do that. Nothing new at the RV storage, and I wanted to report that Val let me know that she is at a doctor's appointment, couldn't get here in time, but that everything looks good at Blowing Springs.
Okay then. Well, that's a nice little wrap then.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, go ahead.
This is Denise. I actually just have a comment. I know Val's not on the call. A friend of mine literally just sent me a message through Facebook about the trail that Val would normally do a report on at Blowing Springs. Can I take a second and read this to you guys? Because it is something that probably needs to be considered.
Go ahead.
She says, this is regarding the new cement trail along Houston. Closer to Spanker, the trail is only about a foot from the roadway. It's a hazard for cars in that there is no shoulder at all without going off the road and dropping about 15 inches down to the new sidewalk. This seems like an accident waiting to happen for vehicles, not to mention the risk for a walker who is less than 2 feet from a moving vehicle. I haven't been down there to see it myself, but I thought I'd just pass that along.
So Denise, they're not done in that area.
Okay.
And so that's going to be smoothed out. It is a drop off right now, but they're not done, and they're going to be landscaping that area.
Okay.
And so I think it'll be less of a concern once they're done. It is a drop off now, but we've had a couple of those complaints. We've brought it to the attention of the company that's doing the work, and they've kept on saying, patience, we're going to get it, and we're going to get to that.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Tom.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Denise, if you would, Joan, if you would forward me that email just because we're keeping records of that. I would say that she probably underestimated the 1 foot. I do know that 5 foot is the minimum between roads, but as Tom said, that's one of the areas that they continue to work and perfect. So
Okay.
forward me that.
I'll message that to you, Joan.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right then, very good. So we can move on then to Tanyard Creek, Janet.
Well, Tanyard Creek looked fantastic. Everything was clean. You know, the landscaping was really good, and there was overflow traffic, parking, and people at the park, as there always is. I noticed that there were 3 out-of-state tags, and there were over 50 people there the day. I went there on a Friday afternoon about 2 weeks ago, or whenever it was sunny. I don't remember the exact date, but and I stopped a couple of walkers who were there and had been there several times, and I asked them, you know, about, is there anything you would recommend? And they said, more bathrooms. And there was a lot of people that were coming. Okay, I don't know. They were coming from like off the road down the hill. It's a trailhead or a trail, Vista something.
The bicycle, the soft trail area.
Yeah. So people are walking down.
Largo. It's called Vista Largo, as in Lakeview. And yes, as Chris says, it's the back part of the
Okay. Yeah.
Bike.
And there were the couple asked me, well, do you know how to get around this place? And I said, well, maybe. But they had never seen the waterfall, and they really didn't know their way around the stream. And I said, you can get up to the dam. And in fact, you're practically on the dam. But people were everywhere. Dam, all the trails. The only 2 areas of concern that I had, and it goes back to the area around the waterfall. And it looked as though, and I sent a couple of photos to Rick, you know, people were climbing all over the waterfall, at the rocks around there and going across, and there didn't, the posts, it seemed that one of the posts was down that used to hold the cables, you know, all the cables. There was only one full set of cabling there, and there wasn't a sign that says danger, you know, bad things happen when you hit the rocks. And it was just, I just had to bring it up again. And I understand the whole thing about erosion. The other thing I noticed was across the way, on the other side of the creek, next to the waterfall, there seemed to be just a huge amount of erosion or something that had been, that occurred there. And maybe I just didn't notice it before, which is likely. And so, and then of course, the other thing was I mentioned last time about the pylon. I learned a new word, pylon, on one of the crossings of the creek. So was broken or whatever. So anyway, I said, Rick, help. And I'm sure he's going to make some comments on that, but people are just, they can't get enough of the place. And I guess that means just, you know, especially this summer as people are able to get out more, that need to pay attention to park almost a capacity question as far as, you know, damage to trails or overuse. I guess that would be the thing that I would have some possibility with. But that's all on Tanyard Creek. Rick, do you want to chime in?
Yes. So I did look at that bridge, and it is, the problem that you spoke of is not structural at
Okay.
all. It's kind of listing to one side a little bit, and that's a result of some flooding from years ago. Not to say that we shouldn't try to straighten it. We'll get a backhoe in there and see what we can do. There's some other work that needs to be done too. It actually took me a long time to figure out what bridge you were talking about, because the picture was so up close. I didn't have any perspective. So take this example as a good opportunity to. I absolutely love the picture idea. You know, with smartphones and everything, we can send pictures immediately, and actually maybe even take care of some of these problems before the committee meetings if you want to send them to me directly. But it also helps to take that up close shot and then a larger picture so we can get a little bit of perspective of where you're talking about. But yeah, that little piece that popped off of that, I think it's an old telephone pole, is not structural at all, and it popped off because it's listing to one side just slightly. But like I said, it's not structural, but we will have a look at it, see what we can do to straighten it out.
All right, so that's it for Tanyard Creek there. We'll
And
move on.
I just wanted to say that Lake Avalon Park was immaculate. And at the day that I went there, it was cold and nobody was there yet. So really not much to comment on.
All right. Well then, let's move along to the gun ranges. Gary? There you go, find that mute button.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
All right. Well, I went out to the ranges on the 3rd, and once again, the overall condition very good shape, clean, well kept. It's been a little bit slower, I guess, the past month or so. And I was speaking with Gary, who is out at the rifle and pistol range. Let's see. Any areas for review? Really, there's still the only thing that I can see at either range is that the gravel hasn't been put in by the barbecue pit at the rifle and pistol range, but the tables were moved, so I'm thinking that they're getting ready to do that, and then that'll be complete. I did get to speak with Larry Kay at the rifle and pistol range. He was out there with his 22 and 38, and he really enjoys the range. He said he'd keep the place open. And then I spoke at length with a gentleman named Kevin King over at the Trap and Skeet area. I guess he's treasurer of the Sportsman's Club. So, and I think, John, he sent you something in the mail. I don't know if you got it or not.
Yes.
But it's like a 1-minute commercial on the trap and skeet ranges. It was written very well. It was just he calls it the Highland Shooting Sports Complex. So he's got a name for it and everything else. So anyway, I told him I'd bring this up because he's really done a great job on the information that he put together. So you'll all see that as I've sent that over to Janet and to Chris for inclusion in my amenity reports as well. Other than that, I have a funny feeling it's going to start to get busier and busier. We've got 4 shoots coming up sometime in the next couple of months. And other than that, it's all good. So that's the report on those amenities.
All right. Okay, good.
Chris,
Go ahead,
I
Debbie.
have to say, the Vista did a fabulous article on the gun range. If you all get the Vista or not, but and then it was in Sunday's paper at the Democrat Gazette, but it really was a nice article on the gun range.
Oh, good. Some good PR. Excellent. All right. Back to the last amenity, which is London Park, and I'll give a couple words about that. So my perusal yesterday revealed a site that's in beautiful condition. It's clean. The restrooms are good. The fish cleaning station is good. The water looks great at the edge. The docks are good. Bunches of people, folks walking their dogs. And they mentioned they really like it there because they could walk around the perimeter all the way from the lake to the road and do a big loop like that. Plenty of space to throw the ball for their dogs. And there were folks there, grandkids, grandparents, and they were just looking at the water, watching the early morning at the lake. And so it was just a good day there yesterday morning. It's in good order. And so that would be it for London Park. And that, I believe, is it for our amenities. Move along now to some new business. A couple small items here. The first, as we thanked Scotty for her time on the committee, that leaves open 2 spots right now. It'll leave open Loch Lomond's recreation complex and, of course, the Metfield complex. And they will eventually be filled by applicants that we take in the coming months. But at this time, if anybody wants to trade amenities and then maybe take a look at something new, now would be a good time to do that. If you wish, just let me know and we can reassign.
Chris, this is Debbie. I'd be glad to do Loch Lomond until June. I mean,
Okay.
it's enough, and I go by there enough that I would be glad to do that.
This is Jackie, and I would be happy to do Metfield. I play pickleball a good bit over there.
All right. Okay, good. So were you thinking of doing those on a temporary basis to fill in, or would you like to keep them permanently and let your other amenity go to a newcomer when that time arrives?
Well, Chris, I'm off as of July anyway, so I'll go ahead and do the next 3 months for Loch Lomond as well as Branchwood.
Okay, understand your circumstances. Okay.
I'm very happy to keep Lake Ann and Metfield, and the RV. Every time I go to the RV storage, there's really nothing going on, so it's fine to keep that or not. But I'm fine with just adding Metfield unless you want to give somebody something.
Okay. Thank you for that, then.
Hey, Chris, it's Denise.
Hi, Denise.
I can actually pick up Loch Lomond after Debbie's done with it, starting in July. If we don't have somebody that wants it right away, so I can take that.
All right, that sounds good.
There's just not much going on at Tyree, so I can do both.
Okay. What I'll do is in our communication, I'll list out our responsibilities there, and we could make sure that we're settled before the new members come on, and then we have enough open amenities for those folks.
Yeah.
And I must be getting a FedEx delivery or something because my dogs are getting excited, so apologize for that. Maybe next time we'll join a meeting. All right, so the next thing on the new business list was going back to the trail, the new paved poured greenway expansion, the Razorback. And so I live in the area and I see a lot of folks using it already, and it is not officially opened and it still has work to be done, safety features and everything. But I was thinking, when it is officially opened, and when the state gives us regulations with COVID that says it's okay for people to come around each other again, that it would be really cool to plant the seeds here for an opening celebration of that greenway of some sort. So I just wanted to present the committee with that idea. And if it's something that we could do, we could have a little subcommittee or help folks plan for something like that.
So, Chris, I'll jump in here. I think it's a great idea. Some of you may or may not remember that when we brought the greenway down into the park, we had a ribbon cutting. It's a little bit too early to know when the exact date of the trail being officially open, but it will be later this spring. They have had some challenges, such as the one area that was alluded to earlier on the call. But I think we absolutely can, but just know that it can't be just the POA. We would have to do that in partnership with the city because the trails fall under them. And I don't know that it needs a subcommittee. It's usually just an afternoon thing. People ride their bikes out. There's a ribbon cutting. The mayor takes part in that. And then usually Tom, somebody from the trail builders. But we could do some fun things. And certainly I think this group should talk about it, but it's not something that we would own. The city takes great pride in those types of things. So I think you could talk about it, have a plan, and then I could present it to the city on behalf of the POA.
Okay. Yeah, we could just talk about ideas then and build some support for it and see if we could get something going. Yeah, I think that, having a ceremonial kickoff and then maybe have a couple different groups or 2 or 3 groups. You'll have a group of walkers and then have a group of real beginner bicyclists and maybe a more advanced bicyclists, but have a little bit of segmentation so that all the different diversity of users would be able to get their first use of the trail, and everyone would enjoy it safely then.
Talking about like a staggered event times? Staggering the...
Yeah, like the walkers could start, say, I'm just making things up now, like the walkers start an out and back course, not all the way to the end and back, that's too far for walking, but maybe to a point, and then walk back, and they start out maybe a half hour before the bikers, and then the bikers could do a course, maybe the entry levels do to a point and back, and then the advanced riders go all the way up to Metfield and back to Blowing Springs. Because I would envision you probably want to start it out at Blowing Springs because that's the bigger area to gather everybody up to start with.
More parking.
We'd want to keep that. I think it's a great idea, Chris, to do the 3 groups. We'd want to keep that pretty organic because otherwise we're going to have overflow parking issues. So, and spacing them out a half an hour would take away from the quote unquote ribbon cutting. We did a little something like that for those of you that came to the ribbon cutting when the Razorback came to the front of the park. But I think those are great ideas, and to have a kind of 3 organic groups rather than, we're not going to advertise this as a huge event because 1, COVID, 2, it's a lot more work than you think. But I think overall your idea is great, and I think the city would like that too.
Okay. Well, I know the Recreation Committee and your staff does a great job with events like this, the Halloween drive-thru and everything. So, all right, got some ideas there, and we'll let you go to work with it. All right. Well, thanks for that brief conversation. We'll move along then to the regular staff reports. And leading off the staff would be Tom Judson, of course.
Great. Well, right now, our activity card registrations are behind last year. I think a lot of that has to do with the weather. So I anticipate in March it's going to start pick up, and hopefully by the end of the month we'll be even with where we were last year. Also, by the end of this week, we'll have the 2020 stats plan available. This gives all the statistics, the number of rounds of golf played, the number of people that went into the gym facilities, the number of boat registrations and so forth. So we'll have that available, and we have data going back many years so you can actually compare and see how we're trending along the way. And really that's about it. We've been busy on our side, but that's really all I have to report right now.
All right. Looking forward to those stats. Okay, Rick, your turn with all your amenities.
Okay. The Lake Rayburn Drawdown, give an update on that. We're currently down 80 inches, which is a little bit more than we had anticipated. This has allowed us to make some of the repairs that we promised. The boat ramp repairs are complete. We will open the ramp in the next couple of days. We needed a good week to let it cure, and we're about there. The outflow area, which normally receives water, doesn't now that the lake is drawn down. So it was also a good time to allow us to repair and replace some riprap that had washed away. The riprap is there. We're going to concrete over that very soon. And the last thing that is of concern with us is the valve that was in play, should have been in play to lower the lake, which we weren't able to access because of some debris that's in the lake that's over that. We have a plan to locate that tomorrow. We're going to pump air into the valve, into the shaft of where the valve is, and then follow the bubble trail. So that'll let us know where exactly it is and how best to uncover that. That is the only thing that we have left to do. There is a resident that is planning to dredge one of the coves, and that's still left to do, which they should be getting started very soon. And we'll begin refilling on April 1st. Our POA rangers have made 1,073 contacts last month, even with the very bad weather that we had. 20 people removed, 38 boat hours. 38 people contacted by boat, and 29 and a quarter boat hours in February. We're beginning to see outdoor participation picking up quite a bit. As I believe was mentioned earlier, we actually this past weekend had parking lots that were overflowing at Tanyard Creek and Lake Avalon. It appears that the sign the city put up at Tanyard Creek actually is a little confusing and is pointing some people into a residential street. And we're going to be asking that the city move that about 20 to 50 yards further down the street so that it is more intuitive of the overflow parking being at the driving range. So that's nice to know, and it's nice to know early in the season. The small dog park, the next step is to pour some concrete for the apron, the entrance apron by the gates. We were having a look at that today, so that should happen really soon. And we're hoping to be able to finish the grading and sod very soon as well. Just as quickly as it dries out, it looks like we're calling for rain later this week. So that's still a little bit on hold. Grounds maintenance has been working on refurbishing picnic tables during the bad weather. It's something they can do in the shop, and they'll be going back out very soon. They're also clearing brush from our dams when the weather is good. And then over this next month, we're going to be doing our annual lake trash pickup so that things are ready to go in the spring. Again, I checked the bridge at Tanyard Creek, which we talked about before. We'll try to make those repairs here real soon. And big news on the Lake Ann sinkhole. We got the report from Terracon a few weeks back, have had a chance to review that, and we're retaining their services to kind of guide us through the process of how to fix that, and then what to do with some other problems that were encountered. So the first thing is to fill the sinkhole and prevent intrusion of water back into that area. We've got a plan to do that, and then kind of in a staged process because there's obviously cost involved. We're going to make some corrections to the spillway itself, remove some trees, and fill some eroded areas there. So that'll be over the next couple years. And in our fisheries and water quality department, Lake Brittany has received, you may say its third and fourth trout stocking of the year. Because February was so bad, we weren't able to get in until late in the month. So we combined February and March. So it recently got stocked with a good number of fish and a few very big fish as well. Our Christmas tree habitat has been placed in Loch Lomond. I'm producing a map to show where we've done habitat work in the past, and that should be available on the website soon. And the golf course ponds have been drained in anticipation of our aquaculture program that will be getting going in earnest in April. And I received confirmation from Arkansas Game and Fish of our May 15th fishing derby, which will be at the Metfield Clubhouse Pond. If you recall, we already asked for and received your permission to have that non-member event a few months back. And that's my notes for this month.
All right, another good month. Thank you for that. So we can move along then to Mr. John Urquhart and his facilities.
Over at the gun range, kind of like Gary said, everything's a little slower than it probably otherwise would be, given the warm weather and that sort of thing. I think we're starting to feel the effects of people not being able to find ammunition as regularly as they would like. So I think we're a little bit slow. Of course, whenever it has been warm, we've still had pretty good numbers out at the gun range. In February, we did lose 8 days of operation due to inclement weather, ice, and then moving on to snow. But we were able to get the facilities reopened pretty much as soon as it quit actually snowing, thanks to our heavy equipment operators and grounds maintenance crew. They went out, plowed the road, used rotary snow blowers to get the snow off of the trap fields and off of part of the rifle and pistol field. So it was kind of fun to watch that process. Just we don't get to see a whole lot of that in our area. In other news, classes are mostly full. Again, slightly slower than I would otherwise anticipated, probably also due to ammunition shortage. And then also, although this has not happened yet, I do anticipate some of the events that we had talked about a little earlier in the spring, these larger events where they bring in large quantities of ammo, some of those may be impacted pretty severely because they're just not going to be able to find that ammo. I've talked to one event organizer so far, and they were asking me about ammo, and I was asking them about ammo. So nobody's got any answers just yet. So I think we might see some impact this year just because of those shortages.
John, why is there a shortage on ammo? I mean, what is the reason?
I mean, it could be a lot of things. There probably is still a little bit of manufacturing lag from COVID. People, not being in the factory working and that sort of thing. last year was a banner record year for gun sales in general. A lot of that is due to people being able to get out. And really, if you're going to an outdoor range, you're able to be outside. So guns and ammo, they probably had record sales last year, just like kayaks and that sort of thing did. And then also last year was an election year, and every single election year, no matter what's going on, that sort of thing happens. And I think all those things stacked together have put a real hurt on the supply of ammo.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And that is all I have for the gun range.
All right, John, very good. I just hope that we don't see those rotary snow throwers again here for a very long time, like many years.
No kidding.
Yeah. All right, so we've got one item left on our agenda today, and that's the Department of Recreation and Wellness. So I see Jessica here and Joan as well. So one of you ladies could take it away for us.
Okay, I think I'm going to start and then I'm going to throw to Joan. First, to address Debbie, when you were talking about when are we going to open it up to more people, really one of the issues, just so you know, is that we are still under the 12 feet.
Yeah.
So what happens is we let more people in, don't have enough machines, then everybody's standing around. And so we're still under that. So I know everybody, I just ask them to be patient, but understand we're all wanting it opened up. And then I was just going to talk about a few things before amenities. So Scott spoke on the vaccine clinic at Rayburn. It went phenomenal. People were in and out of there in 10 minutes. So Kathy and them over at Rayburn Hall did a great job. And then there was a tire removal pickup of the master naturalist, Michael. I'm not even going to say his last name because I'll butcher it, but Denise might know it. I'm not sure, but he's a master naturalist. And Trey, Joan kind of kicked it to Trey, and Trey got on board, got the trailers, got down there to help them out. Believe it or not, they were going to wheelbarrow these tires out before. And luckily, they didn't do that. We all came together. We went down there, met them. I had a great time. We got 108 tires off about a quarter mile back from the Tweety Bird trailhead. So we counted them all. But we were supposed to be there till 8. It was going to be 4 hours long. It ended up, everybody worked so well together. We were there in less than 2 hours. It was great. Really good. And moving on to, so amenities, I talked to Scott. We got the playground fixes done. We had 2 maroon, they call them bongo stumps, but they're where kids can jump on, that had some cracks, some spider cracks in them. Those got replaced. We had a tic-tac-toe panel that they don't make anymore, so we had to replace the entire panel with some safety bars. And then we had a tube slide bracket that was replaced. So we always get them inspected. So when Jack Cartwright comes out to inspect them again, we'll look them over, but those were all the corrections that we had. The tennis hours have expanded. So everybody knows they're to spring hours, not winter hours anymore. And that'll be reflected on the website now. The KD pool, as Scott said, it's coming along great. They're anticipating they'll be done by the end of this week. They'll have a few things here and there, but and then we'll move on to getting the inside done. So that'll be nice, and the fencing. And out at the Branchwood pickleball courts, the fencing started Sunday. I was out there and I saw them all pull up and I was like, oh, they start on a Sunday. But they've got a lot of work this year. So they're working weekends, and that'll probably be done by the end of this week as well. So I believe that is it for me. I think Joan wanted to talk.
Yeah, hi everybody. First of all, I just wanted to give Jessica a moment of appreciation. You guys may not know behind the scenes, but I know she's been showing up regularly for the last 3 months. And I know that she's done a great job carrying the recreation banner, even though it's hard to carry a banner with just one person. But that's because it's not one person. The whole rec team came together to pick up the slack from me being out sick. And that includes Trey, who's actually on another training call right now. So then the 3 things I wanted to mention just briefly, one was mini golf, because I know that's been the hot topic. We are grooving and cruising. You know, a lot of it now is going to come down to weather. We are in the process of upcycling some really cool vintage Oz-themed attractions, which I have been saving from my stockpile for years. Our resident artist, Jordan, is repainting some of those. We will be trying to work with the carpet layers in the next few weeks, depending on weather. They need several days, and of course they want the glue to dry, so that'll be forthcoming. We have the signs and everything on order, so I'm sure people are going to want to know, when's it going to open, when's it going to open. We plan to have it open, and we will do a fun little grand opening where we'll give away some tchotchkes and all that. Rec department, we're already on that. But I don't want to give an exact date, but it'll be before Memorial Day. It'll be probably early May. We've got a target date, but again, at this time of the year, it comes down to weather, but it will definitely be before, you know, the peak period of summer. So we're super excited about that. And I think you guys all know the marina opens on Tuesday, March 16th. Jess, I don't remember if you mentioned that, but that's basically a week from tomorrow. And we'll be on spring hours, full weekend days and part days during the week. So Trey is doing great. A little update, since you guys all voted on the capital improvements. Trey was able to commandeer a new ski fish boat, and by new I mean gently used. And he is currently working on it because with COVID, boats are a hot commodity and very, very hard to come by. So he got us a great boat, but it's going to be even greater when it has the Trey stamp on it. He's putting in a lot of man hours on tweaking what needs to be fixed. So we're excited about that. And lastly, the campground at Blowing Springs, doing fantastic. We're already sold out 2 of the major spring break weekends. That's all for me. I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you very much, Joan. Good to hear from you. And thank you as well, Jessica. I seen, Scott, did you have a question? I seen a little question hand go up for a second there.
No, I was just clapping for Jessica. The second.
All right. Okay. I got to learn my claps from my hand raises then. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's about it for this meeting. Is there any last points anybody needs to bring up or anything? All right, then.
One of the things, Chris, we want to remind everybody, we're looking for members.
Right, good point. So Tammy does have that out in email, and I'm asking folks to see if they're interested. I got a couple of folks I'll be talking to, and hopefully everyone else on the committee could do the same then.
I just want to say it was nice meeting all of you guys. I'm sorry I never got to meet any of you in person, but this has been a really awesome opportunity, and it was a nice way to get to know a lot more about our community. I had never been to Loclemond before because it's so it's far from the house, but my kids love it. It's a place we go, and I let them kind of run free for a while now. So it was a great opportunity as somebody newer here. I know some people have been living here for years, but to get to know the area and more about our POA and how it works. And so I've really enjoyed the opportunity. So thank you all very much.
All right, good. Thank you. I put a reaction up there and now I can't get it down there. So thank you for the time that you gave us. And again, wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
All right. So our next meeting is going to be on March 12th. And we'll wrap this one up here. And I hope everyone stays well and look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on March 12th. Thank you, everybody.